looked into at some point into many religions, but it were all of the religions were giving me weird feelings. It didn't make sense. From philosophical beliefs that really were not having a clear foundation, all the way to, Hinduism. I've had very good conversations with a lot of different religions and different ethnicities, but I never could really relate to the principles or to the belief or the concept of God. So wherever I looked and whatever question I asked, religion didn't make sense until I was embraced to Islam. I started realizing that there must be one creator. There can't be multiple, because if the creator is all-knowing, all-powerful, all these aspects, then how can there be multiple? Because if there are multiple, if they don't agree with each other, that's not the concept of God. So a lot of religions don't make sense. Philosophical beliefs or things like that don't believe sometimes in a creator. For me, it makes sense that there was a creator because of the intelligence behind everything. All these kinds of steps that I followed that brought me closer to Islam. I even remember at some point when I was convinced and I was like, okay, I think Islam is the thing for me. And we have every single evening, we're having these beautiful conversations. I remember that one Muslim said to me, okay, you believe it's the truth, but how much have you really looked into other religions? Because we don't only say it's the truth. He said, every religion says it's the truth, right? And I was like, yeah. He said, before you make the decision, do a little bit more research on other religions as well, because he said you will even be more convinced. And I was like, whoa, subhanAllah. That's what it means. I mean, that's real faith, right? If you can say like, look wherever you want in this planet Earth, and you will still come back to us, and even more convinced. And I did that. I started asking a little bit more questions on Christianity. I knew some Christians around me. I started looking into some other religions for a couple days and a couple weeks even. But the more and more I started reading, the more I was like, yeah, Islam is the truth. Islam is the only truth. And alhamdulillah.
So what was the main thing that convinced you that Islam is 100% the truth? That this is it. This must be the truth.
When people ask me the question nowadays, like what really made you realize that Islam is the truth? I always say two things. One is the creation in and of itself, the universe around us, the fact that we have so many different creatures, animals here. We have, if you plant a seed, it will grow into a tree with different fruits. We live in a universe that is endless, a universe that is unlimited, how huge and how long it is, at least for what we can observe. We are just a tiny dot in the universe floating around. If you look at the perfection of the creation, the purpose of the creation and the intelligence around it, then I really realized that there must be something behind that, a creator. If there is a creation, there must be a creator. And I think, on the other hand, the second thing that made me really convinced that Islam is the truth is the societal aspect. So I was seeing, when I was younger, I grew up in the West, I saw these people being lost, following their desires. I mean, especially nowadays with social media, for example. A lot of people disagree with each other, different opinions, even within households itself. The mother believes in one thing, the father believes in the other thing. You have two children that have complete other beliefs about life. It's really separate, really individual. People are just following their desires and their ego. So who is determining the rules? Who is determining what is good and bad? And then I really saw, and was something that I realized pretty early in my life from observing the Muslims, is I realized that if you have rules or a book that is coming from something higher and you believe in it all together, then society is much more peaceful.